first year and second year girls. Time and this make sure that your entries are registered there. Everyone. जो भी all the hostel girls, please make sure that your entries are there on the persons with the persons who are sitting on the door.
उनकी एंट्री यहीं पर ही साथ साथ करा दूँ फंक्शन से पूछ ली मैम को 4:45 तक लिस्ट चाहिए रेखा मैम ने सीधा बोल दिया मैं सारी लड़कियों को बुला दूँ मुझे पता है जो अब आ रही हैं उनसे बाहर करवाएं तो ये जो बैठे हैं उनको भी बाहर भेज दें जो अभी आ रहे हैं उनकी तो डायरेक्ट होती जाती है और इनकी एक बार बैठे करवाते नहीं इनकी तो उनको बोल दिया ना बाहर चले जाओ ठीक है बाहर चले जाओ
Apart from those girls that just stood, is there anyone else? Hostel girls, anyone? Okay.
क्या करना है?
इधर करना था। बताओ कैसे? क्योंकि मुझे वो बटन नहीं दिख रहा है ना, बटन करना होगा।
ये बंद करना है क्या वाला?
नहीं, अरे सबको सेटल डाउन कह दो एक बार। मैम जैसे ही फ़ोन रखती हैं, मैम जैसे ही फ़ोन तो वैसे ही शुरू कर देंगे। एंड लिसन।
Good evening, everyone. I, Shagun Singh, signing head Team Horizon.
And I, Adarsh Mishra, signing head Team Horizon, on behalf of our entire team, extend a warm welcome to you all. Communication. Communication is a thread, one which ties two different people, communities, and two different worlds. It is the very basis of entire human existence. How can one deny it? With today's workshop, we aim to emphasize upon communication and its importance.
We have with us Shagun Singh, or shall I say our Shagun ma'am, a proficient writer and orator, an unwavering figurehead, and an exemplary dominion, and a revered alumni of our college. She is currently a software engineer, a freelance content writer, and also she is an internationally certified soft skills trainer trained under the curriculum of Consell Institute of Image Management, USA.
Now I will request Shagun ma'am to come up on this stage. Now the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much. Can you please switch this on for me? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kankshi. Thank you so much, Adarsh. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much. So, they pretty much said everything. I was alumni of AKGEC. I graduated in 2019. I was associated with Team Horizon back in the days. Thank you so much for coming in the heat at 4 p.m. to attend the workshop. It is a pleasure. I hope that after this workshop, both you and we both learn something new, take away something new, and have something new to converse and talk and learn about. So let's start with our introductions. You may know stuff about me because it was there on the slide. They gave away too much. But before we get started, I would like to know all of you. And since the amount is huge, the crowd is huge, what we will do instead of our usual introductions of hello, my name is this, my student number is this, my stage branch is this and that, we won't do that. We'll dump that. And we will design for ourselves our vanity nameplate. Okay? So you have an A4 sheet with you. Everyone has it, right? You have a pen with you, right? What you will do is, through texts, pictures, images, anything that describes you as an individual, you have to put it together. So it could be a movie, it could be a writer, it could be a song, it could be an artist, it could be anything on the top of your head, which says ki if I show these 6 things to anyone, they will know it's me. Okay? So I'll first do mine with you. So this is me. Can somebody, I'll give you just 1 minute to look at it. Will somebody take the liberty of introducing myself to me? What would you interpret out of these? How many images are there? 6 images and one text. What would you, would anyone raise their hand? Oh, thank you so much, ma'am. What's your name? And you can. So, Mami, what do you think of this? What interpretation do you make out of it?
Ma'am, I think you are a book reader and you love to work out. You are work. Sorry, I'm.
It's okay. It's your interpretation.
You love to work
Yes.
and tea is your favorite drink.
Yes. Help her out. What does the fourth image say? Yeah.
Content writer.
Pass on the mic. Pass on the mic to me. Yeah. You. Right, sir. Right. Yes. What do you think of it? This one.
Ma'am, the fifth one. Ma'am, curious person.
That's the exact word I think. Right? What is that? Thank God you did not take me for this, but that time. I'm done. And what's that?
Overthinker.
How many overthinkers in the house? Usually not overthinkers, right?
Thank you so much. That was a brilliant interpretation. So do you know about my characteristics, my quirks, my job, my profession, my likes, my dislikes, everything, right? So the clock starts now. You have the paper. I'll give you 3 minutes of time and please draw yourself out. All right. It could be a Taylor Swift song, it could be a Bollywood movie, it could be an actor, it could be a band, it could be K-pop, anything and everything that comes on the top of your head. That describes you. Can some Horizon member time this for me? I don't have a timer here. Okay, I'll just assume that a minute has gone by and you have 2 left. Mine was easy, I just had to copy paste Google Images. You guys have to do the real work. Okay, I'm just giving you 1 more minute. Anyone who's done yet? Okay, no one. Okay, you have 15 seconds left. I literally timed this, I'm not joking. So, just 15 seconds for you to go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leave your pens. I'm that invigilator who doesn't let you write after the second the bell rings. So, okay. Anyone would want to show me their vanity name plate? Yes. Thank you. And anyone who would want to interpret this? Somebody else will interpret it. Okay. You would want to interpret this? Okay. So here, okay, it's your interpretation. So you will describe, what's your name, sir? Aditya. So you will describe Aditya for us. Thank you. And yes, go. You can stand up. You can face the audience. Yes, very good.
He likes to sleep.
He likes to sleep, okay.
He likes to work out.
Work out.
And can I just see?
Yeah.
He loves reading.
Yes.
And he's
There's an
curious.
emoticon.
He feels books are dreadful. And he likes to write because he has written. He also likes listening to music. And he has massive mood swings.
Massive mood swings. Oh my. You've taken one thing that women had, massive mood swings. Okay. So, and also he's given his favorite song, that is मैं पल दो पल का शायर हूँ. पल दो पल मेरी कहानी है. आगे कहाँ पाएंगे? Okay. Anybody else? Big round of applause for her, first of all. You guys know, right, how much guts it takes to hold a mic, face the audience, and interpret something you've never seen before? Who would want to do the gutsy thing again? Anybody else who would want to show me their nameplate? Okay, here. Somebody else also raised, you also raised your hand. I'll go. I want to be impartial. Can you please pass it on to me? Thank you so much. And anybody who wants to interpret it, you can interpret it if you wanted to read it. So, okay, let me read it first. Her name is Navya.
So basically, Navya is a song lover. She likes tea and she likes to binge watch a lot. She is a nature lover and likes to sleep. And she is like separate from the crowd or introvert sort of person.
Separate from, she's an introverted person. Navya, how appropriate do you think the description was? How appropriate it was? It was very appropriate, nice. Okay, thank you so much. Since we have a lot of you, thank you so much.
Welcome.
We have a lot of you, so we won't be obviously doing all rounds of introductions. But when I asked you to think about this activity, what went into your head? What did you think? Did you think about yourself? And how often do you think about yourself? Very less. So we think about ourselves less, but what are we more focused on then? What others think about us, right? And we don't know what we think about ourselves. Okay. Can you tell me this? What do you think? What do you think if what others think about you versus what you think about yourself? Does it match? It doesn't match. On the good side or the bad side, like you think you are a really nice person, but the other person thinks, oh man, she's so boring. Oh God, he's unnecessarily rude. Right? So you misinterpreted, or maybe your intentions are mistaken, or you come across as a person who you really are not. I am not this person these people are making me to be. I am somebody else. Does it happen to you? Or are you communicated? What you think on the inside is what people see on the outside. Does it happen? No. You know what? It does not happen because psychologists have actually named this. This is called better than average effect. It's called BTAE. What is the better than average effect? Humans, we always overestimate our capabilities, our abilities with respect to the other people. So let's say you think that dozen of you have written, I am a polite communicator, I am friendly, I am soft-spoken. That's your style of communication when you registered on your workshop, when you gave that registration link. Do you think that other people on the other side also perceive you to be soft-spoken or friendly or XYZ? That usually does not happen because on the internal side, when your internal self-awareness, how self-aware you are on the inside, does not often match with what you think other people perceive of you. So what we are going to try to do today is understand our communication styles, and we are going to work upon them and improve them. And I've been talking about communication. This guy also gave a definition. Everybody has a definition. Why do we need it? We are tech graduates. We know our languages, man. We will do it. We have to crack tech interviews. That's all we need, right? Why do we need communication? What, is it important enough? We know how to communicate in everyday life. 20 साल से कर रहे हैं, आगे भी कर लेंगे, है ना? चाहिए क्यों? Except for interviews. What do you guys think? Anyone? Why is the need to have an art of effective communication? Why can't I just communicate and get over with it?
Good evening, ma'am. My name is Tanya. Like, I think that why communication, the art of communication is very necessary in today's time. Like, everyone will learn technical skills. Everyone will excel that field. But very less population know that how to effectively communicate their thought to the other person. Like, suppose I know a thing and the other person is knowing a thing. So, if I have communication skills better than that person, then I can interpret my thoughts better to the other one in comparison to him. So in this way, I think that communication is very useful.
Thank you so much. How many of you agree with her? If you agree, you clap. And okay, so let's set the tempo of the workshop will also be that you will have to talk to me like I live next door. So you have to come up, you have to ask, you have to share, you have to tell. That's how it's going to be here. So I'm your ma'am and you are my ma'am and sir. Okay? So what she said was pretty right. Researchers have shown that automation will take away our jobs. 140 million jobs. That's an Oxford research there that I've cited, where it says how susceptible are our jobs to automation and computerization in the era of Alexa, Siri, and what was that robot who liked Shah Rukh Khan? Sophia, who wants to have a child also now. So you see how they're taking over, right? The robot apocalypse is not far away. So the thing is, automation will replace our jobs, but who will stand out? People who know how to inspire, to ignite, and to put across themselves effectively, to influence without authority. You are a first or a second year student. You have an idea. You have a senior or your teacher or somebody else who is higher in authority ranks to you, but you still want to communicate it to them. You don't have the authority, but you want to influence. That is what art of effective communication or good communication skills give you. Being transformative leaders. What sets you, what sets you arrest from the pack? When you see a pack of kids, when you see a pack of people and the alpha leader is one that knows how to ignite and how to inspire. Which is why we are going to learn about this art of effective communication even as tech graduates, because another research by, it's called the Burning Software Company, what it says is that it is very hard to find people with soft skills in the tech industry. So they want the whole pack. Unko sab kuch chahiye ek person who knows how to write their codes and who can also get up in the morning and present the idea to the team and get it across. So which is why we will be doing the art of effective communication today. We'll be doing it in 3 steps. First will be when we have a problem, when we have a problem in life or we identify that kuch theek nahi chal raha hai, what is the first thing that we should do? Think about it. What else should we do? Note it down. Talk about it. Go to sleep. Very, very good. Accept our flaws. I think I will go with her. The first step is to acknowledge that there is a problem. The first step is that. So we are going to identify the problem areas here. We are going to understand them. And then we are going to make a whole plan out of it as to how will we become effective communicators. Okay? So I would like you guys to distribute that set of worksheets. Whoever has it. So we are going to understand our communication style. Before I start that, what are your communication styles? What did you guys put up in the registration form? Or what do you think now that is your communication style? Anyone? Just shout it out. The room is too, I mean, I can hear your voices clearly. What are your communication styles? You do not communicate, or you don't have a style, or you're dead. Friendly and straightforward. Friendly, straightforward, more? Anyone else? Both friendly and straightforward. Wow, that's a good combo, no? People can be friendly and straightforward. Okay, so you now have a questionnaire in your hand. You have a pen. You will have to fill up this questionnaire. I'll give you 10 minutes for it. What you have to do is, there are questions and there are 4 options that you have, which you have to rate on a degree of 4, 3, 2, 1. 4 is, I agree. 1 is, no. 3 is, okay, theek hai. 2 is, no, somewhat. So that is the sentiment that we are going with. 4, 3, 2, and 1. So what you will have to do is, against each question, each statement, think about it. What you do really in real life. Do not put across something which you think you will do or which you think you should do, because that never happens. So put down exactly what you do as an individual, and then you will have to calculate the scores. You're pretty smart kids. Just do it. You have to calculate the scores. So can I have one worksheet here? Thank you. So like it says, I express my opinions in an honest and appropriate manner. For me, that is a 3. Agree somewhat. So put a 3. Against every question, put a number, and at the end, total it. Can I trust you with this? Yes? Yes? You have 10 minutes for this. If you have any doubts, you can please feel free to ask me. I'll come up to you and you can ask it to me in person also. And do me a favor, answer everything and then do the totaling. Don't get worried about the totaling. The part is put your head to the answers. Don't fill the box immediately. Wow, I said don't fill the box immediately. Don't fill the box immediately. Just answer it there. At the end, when you're done with your 18 questions, flip, match, calculate. That much time only it will take. A hint is, for every question, think of a recent example that you were in a situation, and what did you actually do, not what you thought you should do in the bathroom. So that is different. Let's give this 5 minutes more. 4 more minutes. I think you guys have reached the totaling part, right? I mean, you're mapping the numbers, no? Yes? We are giving this 2 more minutes. Sorry to rush you through this. It should be done in total peace although. But with the constraints of time, we need to speed up. One more minute. Last minute for you. How many of you are done? Can you raise your hands for my benefit? Oh, that's a good majority. Okay, I think you just have 30 seconds left. We'll wrap it up by 4:58. It's already 4:58. Please give me a hands up again when you're done. Okay. You total your score? You fell under a box? What's your box? How many aggressives? No aggressives. Aggressive, aggressive, aggressives. Okay. Higher. Aggressives need to put their hands higher, no? You might even hit us with that hand. How many passive aggressives in the house? Passive aggressives. You guys are the deadliest of all. How many? Higher passive aggressives. How many passives in the house? How many passives? Okay. Passives. How many assertives in the house? Oh, all of you guys are assertive communicators. That's really good. Every style has its own quirks, and we will talk in length about it. What is there in the? What if there's a tie? See, every person is everything. So they are passive sometimes in some situations, and with some people. They're also aggressive, they're also assertive, they're also passive aggressive. When you total a score and you get some highest and you rank it, it's just that personality of you stands out. So if it is a tie, I'm assuming it is between assertive or aggressive or assertive or passive aggressive. Either of these, if it's usually a tie between those two, it means that you're a mix of both in these situations. Because any personality test that you take, it's never a short, you're this. No, it's a spectrum. We are a little bit of everything. It's just that some things stand out. Everything is done? So you guys thought which box you will fall under? What you guys actually thought of yourself as passive people? How many passives here? Do you agree with passive communication style? Do you believe that you are passive communicators? Okay. How many assertives? Yes. How are you feeling to be on the top of the class? Okay. So we are going to talk about all communication styles here. First here one being aggressive communication. Aggressive communication style. Now, don't get me, first of all, I skipped a very important slide, that is, judge none. I am a passive aggressive communication style person, okay? There are assertives in the house, there are many in the house. So we are going to judge none because like I told you, you will be aggressive in some situations and places. You will also be passive in some situations and places. Let's see how we should make the best of them. So aggressive communicators, they invalidate others' feelings and opinions. Their statements usually start with you. You didn't take the trash out. You didn't switch off the light. Remember you have to switch off the light? No. Remember, you didn't do it. So that is a key trigger of aggressive people. They think they are very straightforward. So when you say that you are straightforward, the degree of straightforwardness also varies. If you tune it high, then you fall under this bracket. That is aggressive communication. These people interrupt frequently. They are very poor listeners because they're not listening. They already know what they're going to say. How many times does it happen to you when somebody is talking and you know that ये जो भी बोला मुझे नहीं पता पर मैं इसको यही बोलने वाला हूँ? How many times does it happen? Does it happen? Or all of you are very active listeners in life? Very. And it usually, so aggressive communicators are poor listeners. And let me tell you a thing or two about listening. So 70% of our time, every day, 70% of our time is spent in communication. Communication, by communication I mean sending back and forth of text or knowledge or messages, any format, okay? Like even if reading is communication here, even writing is communication here, talking is communication here, public speaking is communication here, interviewing is also communication. 70% of your time is spent in communicating. Out of that, ideally, 45% of that time should be spent listening. And 30% should be spent speaking. And what do? We reverse it. Yeah. And you know why we reverse it? It's not our problem also. The reason we reverse it is we can speak at the rate of 150 words per minute. So in a minute I can almost communicate 150 words back and forth. But I can think, or you can think, 1,000 words per minute. So that is why when the input is only 150, but inside I have the capacity for 1,000, there's a gap, right? Obviously I'm going to think. Obviously I'm not going to actively listen to you and my mind is going to run कि इसके बाद मुझे क्या करना है? फिर जाना है, फिर फ्रेश होना है, फिर सोना है, सैटरडे है कल, फिर ये होगा, ये कब खत्म होगा, रजिस्टर कब कर लिया था पता नहीं, आ भी तो गए, बहुत कुछ चलता है. ऐसा होता है. So you feel like you want to listen, but somewhere deep down you're like, नहीं सुन लेते हैं, अच्छा रहता है. तो that happens. That is why, because there's a gap. So to be a good communicator in life, the first thing that you can actually do, the very first basic step is actively listen to someone. And how do you know that somebody is listening to you? What is the body language of somebody who is listening to you? Eye contact, but don't stare, right? Eye contact in your social gaze, here, here, here. That's called your social gaze. So only in this much, so in this range you can do eye contact and then blink. For God's sakes, blink, right? Because people usually when they think that they are maintaining an eye contact and when you deliberately make it a point that I'm going to maintain an eye contact today, it comes across as weird. It comes across as creepy, right? So eye contact, yes, number one. Number two, what other aspects of people do you think shows you that they're listening? Nodding, yes. Nodding. That's a really good response. Third thing, posture, slightly leaning towards you. And you know what? When you do this with someone, you will automatically start listening. Any person who's not listening to you will be like that. When you actually tune into that person, it's like they are the radio and you're tuning into 95.3 FM, it's hot. So when you do that, you will actually lean in. You will actually have your ear like that. So you turn, acha, okay, चलता है क्या है आज अच्छा okay ठीक है right. So that's one thing I wanted to tell you about listening skills. They are close-minded and condescending. Close-minded, why? Because they interrupt frequently. They already have their opinions formed, right? Now, what I want you to do here is, the moment I told you about aggressive communication and you read those pointers here, did you list down people in your life who are aggressive communicators? Mentally, ki, that person is aggressive towards me. Did you guys list down? Now you list down for me, who are you aggressively communicating to? Self-check. You know who is talking to you aggressively, but for me, give yourself 1 minute here and write down who you communicate aggressively to. Maybe your maid. Maybe people who are in lower ranks than you. Maybe to your sibling, and not in a good way. Like not in a bhai-behan kind of way, in a weird way. Like, who are you not listening to? Who are you being condescending towards? Who are you close-minded to? Who are you not considering as an equal in your life? Who are you using a lot of you statements with? Who are you tending to blame a lot? Do you have such people in life? You do, right? And if people do usually, right? When I was in college, I was a full-time aggressive communicator. And I transitioned to passive-aggressive, and the journey to assertive is still a long way. Now I want you to also think of situations where you tend to communicate aggressively. And this will be a question. I want to ask you. When do you think you tend to communicate aggressively? I'll tell you when. When somebody triggers you. When somebody pushes your hot buttons. Ting! You mock me in public, I'm aggressive now. I shared with you something in private, you make a mockery out of it in front of all of my friends. Triggered. Right? Massive trigger. No, massive trigger. Biggest trigger of mine. So, that is what. So what usually happens is, for my benefit, can you two both stand here? Just stand. In our brain, think of me as the brain, and this guy is my amygdala. And this guy here is my neocortex. Amygdala, since we have not taken bio, it's okay. Amygdala is the part of your brain that triggers fight or flight responses. Okay? Fight or flight. Tat, reaction. Saap dekha bhag gaye. Right? That's your fight and flight response. Neocortex part of your brain is responsible for your logical functioning. Saap hai par bhagenge to piche aayega. Logical. Right? So, saap nahi, I think this should happen with dogs. So, cut the crap out. So that is what your neocortex, and this is your amygdala. So what usually happens is, when somebody pulls that, pushes that hot button of yours, that's something that triggers you, this guy gets triggered. Usually what should happen is, your neocortex should tell, the blood flow should be from here to here. This guy should tell him, ki, koi baat nahi, let's take a chill pill, let's cool down, let's breathe, thand rakh. And then we take an action. But what happens is, this guy shuts the blood flow. He takes over. And when he takes over, he wreaks havoc. Thank you so much. So what do we have to do? We have to trigger our neocortex, right? We don't want our amygdala to take action. They are all over the place. And how do we do that? We need cooling strategies for it. We need to cool down. Now, what I'm going to try here is, give me one hot button and one cooling strategy here. Everybody here would communicate aggressively at some point in time. What is your hot button and what is your cooling strategy? Cooling strategy is breathing, counting backwards, walking away, choosing to not have that conversation there and there, simply getting up and walking away. These are some of the cooling strategies people use. It is very unique to you. So, does anybody have here any? Yeah. Huh?
walking away.
Keep one here, okay? Yeah. And what would be your hot button? What triggers you?
When I'm not one power, like when I'm not the one who is the center of the situation.
Well, when you're not the one who is in command of the situation.
Yeah,
Okay. Anyone else at the back? Approve. And you. So you. Yeah, you go. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
I cool down myself by listening to music or listening to Gurbanis, etc.
You listen to music and?
Gurbanis.
Qurbanis. Okay. That's a really nice strategy. I'll try it. And what is your hot button? What triggers you? You guys have to tell me the main masala, hot button. Strategy तो is okay यार. Music ही सुनोगे क्या करोगे? Trigger तो हो गए.
When someone knows my weakness and the person does the same thing.
Oh, they use it against you.
Yes.
Passive aggressive do that a lot.
Yes.
So when people know your weakness and yet they use it against you, when they know that you will not go for this movie because you are not interested in the DC Marvel shit, but they will book your ticket. Sorry, Shreyansh, wherever he is. So, so that is what. So you know that maybe I'm not interested, and when somebody has already done it, you cannot say no now. Now you have to go, or you have to do things which I am not okay with, and you already knew it, but you still did it for me. So what happens? You burst out, and people think it's a movie, man. Chill, nahi ja. Right? But it triggers you because you told something to someone in private, and they use it against you. Your cooling strategy was listening to music. Yes, Apurv, you.
So my cooling strategy includes walking away and breathing and going out for a run.
Going out for a run. That really helps. It's like a simile of running away from your problems.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
And my hot button, when people are not listening.
When people are not listening. You better listen, guys. 45% of the time is supposed to be listening. Here. Anyone here? Yes, sir, you. You know why I picked you? Because you were yawning. I sense yawns far away when I'm doing a workshop. Yes, sir. What's your hot button? Jokes apart.
My cooling strategy is that I walk away.
You walk away?
Yeah.
Okay. And what triggers you? When somebody points you out in the public?
If someone puts a finger on my character.
Finger on my character. Or questions your integrity.
Yes, yes.
When somebody questions your integrity. On that note, let us see a video. I'll just copy it from here. How many of you watch Wimbledon matches? How many of you know the woman who's there? Serena Williams. I think we don't have a speaker, right? It's not connected, no?
Yesterday for her outburst during Saturday night's championship match. Williams yelling at the chair umpire, smashing her racket, loudly complaining of a double standard for men and women players. ABC's Aaron Reshef was there.
It was the explosive battle on the biggest stage in tennis that no one saw coming. Tonight, Serena Williams fined $17,000 for going head-to-head with the chair ump. It started when the ump issued a warning that Serena's coach made this illegal hand signals. The tennis superstar seething. After the match, her coach saying he was doing what's become a common tactic.
Well, I mean, I'm honest. I was coaching. I mean, I don't think she looked at me, so that's why she didn't even think I was.
Serena saying she had no idea. Her frustration building. At one point, she breaks her racket. The ump issuing another violation. I have a daughter, and I stand what's right for her and never cheated. But it was this moment that sent the situation spiraling. Late in the match, the ump handing Serena a game penalty.
What did he say? Code violation? What triggered her? He called her a thief. That was her hot button. Questioning the integrity. That's what he said. That's why it reminded me of the video. That's what happens. And it's Serena Williams. She's the goddess. Yet she got triggered. And after this match, when there's a press conference and Naomi Osaka, it was against her and she won it, obviously. So when she said that, and when Naomi is being handed the trophy and everything, and Serena is smiling and she's clapping her back and she's being very proud about it. So press conference people, they ask, right? So if you've acted like this in public and you've been issued a fine of $17,000 for verbal abuse, she said that I felt like it was my own daughter here, like Naomi is like a daughter to me, and I'll never stop this fight against inequality in sports. So she said that it usually happens with women, does not happen with men, there's a whole story behind it. But what I want to say is when she cooled down, she gave an assertive response. But when she was triggered, or when somebody had pushed her hot buttons, that's how she responded. She smashed a racket. Let's not beat this, Serena. Okay. So next is passive communication style. How many of you were passive? Sorry for you to raise your hands again. Passive communication style. Passive communication style statements look like, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, and I might be totally wrong about this. Really sorry. So their statements usually are, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, well, if you like it, let's do it. Okay, I'm okay with everything. You decide it's okay. So these people put the onus of decision on the other person. They build dependency relationships. Sorry, yeah. So they build dependency relationships. They trust others but not themselves. They sit on the fence to avoid conflict. They will do anything but talk about what is at hand. They will want to avoid conflict at any expense. They are usually soft-spoken, polite, avoid expressing their feelings and right because they feel they are too much of a burden. If I say this or if I communicate this to the other person, it's too much of an inconvenience. Why do you think some people think they are an inconvenience, or why do they think that they avoid expressing their rights or feelings, or they build dependency relationships like they depend on somebody else to take the onus for them? Why do you think this happens? Why do you think it happens? Yes? Underconfidence. Why else do you think this happens? Insecurities, self-belief, self-doubt. Yes? Past trauma. Oh my God, this got real. Yes? Yes? Because? Yes, why are we not able to communicate is my question. So like somebody said, lack of confidence, past trauma, self-belief is on the shake, right? Self-belief is not there. Somebody else said something here? Self-doubt. Yeah. So passive communication style people, if you're communicating passively with someone or in some situation, you are being overly critical of yourself. Okay? So you are self-censoring yourself a lot before you bring it out into, in front of the person. And a key indicator of a passive communication style is drooped shoulders, hands between your legs, crossed legs, your shoulders bent and your heads down. Does this remind you to correct your postures? Will you correct your postures for me? How difficult is it to keep your back straight? Very difficult, no? Very difficult, yeah. But a passive communicator in a group will easily be spotted because of their body language. When you talk to a person who is higher in rank or authority to you, you immediately go like this. That's your stance. And even if they are in high authority to you, you can be like this. There is absolutely no qualms in standing straight, having your shoulders back, chin up, eyes straight, and your legs, there's some space between the legs. This is called the power pose. Superman pose is usually this, but nobody stands like this. This is weird. So we stand like this, right? What we do in college and in real life as millennials and Gen Zs is this, right? We shift all our weight on one leg. And you know what this body language communicates? I am indecisive. I know half my stuff, half is... This is how we do. And next thing what we do is, that's how we wait for a class or a friend to come. Right? What do closed arms show? It's a very basic thing. We don't want to communicate. Closed body language. We don't want to listen. We don't want to talk. You know what is this called? We want to talk, but just right. Not too much, not too little. It's called the Goldilocks effect. Psychologists have named it the Goldilocks effect, where we want to connect with each other, but we'll put our headphones. We will strategically see, इससे बात करनी थी, हाँ. Yeah, so okay, this done. Back on. Right? Maybe we don't even have any music on. Our birthday wishes and anniversary wishes have become WhatsApp texts and Facebook posts. God save Facebook posts, man. So that's what has become. That is an even more need for communication to establish human relationships, because that is what we thrive on. The biggest pandemic was there, but there's another big epidemic here which is not much talked about, which is loneliness. Why did social isolation, why did it make us feel weird about staying at our own homes? You're getting food, you have internet, you have everything that you wanted. Why? Because you've been deprived of social interactions. It's called social snacking. When you talk to people, like just casual talk and then you move away, that's small talk or social snacking. Snacking means the snack, right? So it's just like you're not having a meaningful, in-depth conversation, but it's just like a social snack. So that those social snacks were taken away from us, which is why we felt lonely. We felt, कहीं भी चलते हैं, कहीं भी ले चलो, यहाँ नहीं रहना है. That happened, right? So that was a loneliness epidemic, which brings me up to, yeah, so we'll be talking about body language. And I also want to bring to you one more point, illustrate one more point. When we talk of communication, how many of you think that you don't have a good vocab or grammar, or you don't know how to use the right words at the right time? Vocab, grammar issues. You know, you guys, when we communicate with someone, that's only 7% of what really matters. 7% is words. 55% is your non-verbal behaviors, your gestures, your facial expressions, how you stand, how you sit, how you use your hands, and 38% is your voice modulation. Did you guys notice that I modulate my voice a lot? I modulate it a lot. No, I'm a big drama person. So you need to add drama to your life. 38% of your communication is your pitch, your range, your voice inflections. 55% is how you present yourself. That is your body language, your grooming etiquettes. And only 7%, tiny 7% is what we are learning. Words, vocab, grammar, or how we present our ideas, etc. Always keep that in mind. So even if you can't fix that 7%, fix that 38 and 55. And also work on the 7. Okay? So I also want to ask you a question about passive communication style. What opinion do you make of people who communicate to you passively? What opinion do you have of them? People who communicate passively. If you ask them, मैकडी खाओगे या बर्गर किंग? कुछ भी? तुम क्या खा रही हो? अच्छा, ठीक है, मुझे कुछ भी चलता है. नहीं, it's okay, whatever. नहीं जाना, वो भी चलेगा. You have an idea? Yeah, I do. Can you show it to that senior? तुम बता दो, चलेगा. मुझे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. तुम दिखा दो उसको. How many of you have such people in life? You have such people. What does it make you feel? Irritated. Very irritated. When somebody can't give me their food order, I'm irritated. Right? It irritates you. So, this is what that is why when you communicate passively, you think you're not being an inconvenience, but you are the biggest inconvenience there. Because you are not able to tell the person across you that these are your needs, these are your feelings, these are opinions, these are your wants, and you're not being too much. So whenever you think you are being too much, undo that self-criticism, undo that over-analyzing of yourself, and actually put forth what are your wants, your feelings, your needs, and opinions. And yes, one more exercise which I want you to do is, think of a recent situation where you communicated passively and write your alter response. I design my alter responses in the shower. अब बोलेगा ना, अब मैं ये बोलूँगी. Because at that time I couldn't communicate, right? So I will design that, I'll give my own TED talk. I'll come out of it laughing and smiling that, okay, finally I gave the response that I wanted. So what is that, what is that response that you gave which was passive and which you want to redo it? It can be with person who is higher in ranks or authority. Maybe a teacher overstepped the mark. I mean, you're a teacher, but you're not allowed to say this to me. Okay? Maybe you're a senior, but you're not allowed to say this to me. Yes, you are my parents, I respect you very much, but this was over the top. And I did communicate passively back then, but I would like to tell you that this is not cool or this is not done. I feel that da-da-da. Can anybody give me a situation in life? Can we get that personal here? Anyone? Do you have such situations? I'll not ask you to share it in open. Do you have such situations? Everybody has? You won't tell me? Not one of you also? Okay. It's okay. I understand. It's personal. Also another question. Do you communicate passively with aggressives? Right? Did you see that chair empire who was there? Who Serena Williams was? She broke the racket and she called him a thief. Was he passive? No. He said code violation, verbal abuse. He did his job. If he was passive, no Serena, I know. You're the biggest player here. But मेरा job है. मुझे तो कहना पड़ेगा ना अगर कोच ने ऐसे किया है तो. He didn't do that. Or he did not take an action. He took an action and he did it like it was his job. He communicated assertively to a person who was being aggressive towards him. So it's not necessary that if you have an aggressive communicator, you need to communicate back passively. You can choose to walk away, yes, but you need to come back and tell them that, hey, these are my boundaries, and you are way too inside. Okay? And we're going to see how will we do that. Easier said than done. Passive-aggressive communication. These are what we call naggins. Sap. Sapole. Sapole, yes. Ankush Bhagwan, who watches Ankush Bhagwan's reels, he calls people Sapole. And I am this person. I am a passive-aggressive communicator. Passive-aggressive people are something else on the outside and something else on the inside. So they are thinking, that's like your mom talking to your bua. That's like, हाँ बिल्कुल आइए, आपका भी घर है, अरे अब आप पूछेंगी, बिल्कुल आइए. मंडे को कोई आता है? मंडे को शाम को, कल ऑफिस है, बच्चों का स्कूल है, सोचना चाहिए ना. अब मना करना अच्छा थोड़ी लगता है. Okay, so that is passive-aggressive communication. Any other examples of passive-aggressive communication that you have? Well, if you like it, you can do it. If you want to, then sure. Some people say that you're very lucky to get that promotion, huh? What does that mean? You were lucky to get that promotion. You didn't deserve it? Or you were lucky? Now that person is confused. कि मतलब अच्छा है मेरा job कि नहीं है? हाँ. That is what passive aggressives do. You don't know actually what is the actual sentiment that they are conveying to you or what they feel about you. Because they have been, like all of us, they have been taught to people please and avoid conflict. But they have to get their things done also. So they do it in a covert manner, in a subversive way. My things are also getting done. I'm also not looking good, bad, and the other person also does not know what is going on. It's like, I win, you lose, but you don't know you lost. Right? So that is what passive-aggressive communication is. Here I've mentioned they mutter to themselves rather than confront. They smile and set booby traps all around you. Stonewalling. Stonewalling is not like refusing to give a response to someone. Like evasive, being evasive. Play the victim card. Well, if you like it, you can do it. When you actually do it, I told you not to do it. But you didn't say, I will just say like that only, no? But you did it, right? Intentionally failing to follow through. So they will see you in the corridor. They will not wave at you. Bad me when you go, bad me, they will come to you and say, hey, you saw me, you didn't wave. What's up, bro? They saw you, you didn't see them. But they will flip it the other way. Now you feel bad for not wishing them hi when they were the person who saw you in the first place. So that's what they do, intentionally failing to follow through. Use facial expressions that don't match how they feel. Their smiles are usually tight. That's a fake smile, right? When you know your muscles are too tightened, your jaw is too tightened, that's a fake smile. Use facial expressions that don't match how they feel. So I want to ask you this, how do you think this impacts your relationships in the long haul? What happens to, if you are a passive-aggressive communicator or somebody with you or your friend or your parent or your family or anyone that you are in talks with is a passive-aggressive communicator, what happens to that relationship in the long run? Do you have passive-aggressive communicators in life? You do, right? Yes? Are you passive-aggressive to some people? Yes? No. Some people are saying yes, some people are saying no, that's good. So now I want, like I asked you, what does it happen in the long run? What's the outcome of it? Does it go very well? Is it very gaga? What goes downhill? Trust. Communication stops, people stop sharing things. They're not vulnerable to you anymore. They will never come to you or you will never go to them in your moments of weakness or any which ways, because you don't know what things will happen. You go and tell them about a simple promotion that backfired, right? Sometimes you dress up really nice and they will say, you look good today. Today. Because you look good today is simple. You look good today. When you emphasize, when you put a 38% there on the today, that makes all the difference. That communicates that, you just look good today. Sorry. So, why that usually happens is people who are passive-aggressive in communication styles, they are not in touch with their angers. Their anger. They either dislike it, they fear it, or they judge it. They are so out of touch with their anger that it leaks out through their actions, through their behaviors, through their facial expressions. So they think they are not, putting forth that point, but they actually are. And it also happens when you have been transparent before, but you didn't get the kind of treatment you thought you deserved. So you have now learned to get your things done, but in a sly manner. Right? So that is passive-aggressive communication. Also, do you feel passive-aggressive communication style is very easy to get out of difficult conversations? Yes? Very easy, no? How will you do it? Like if, let me give you an example from the top of my head. Let's say I come and ask you that, hey, you saw me there, but you didn't wish me, or you have not been meeting me for a really long time. What's the catch? How will you respond to that in a passive-aggressive way? I didn't see you. Denial. Why didn't you initiate? That's a they put it back on you, that's true. What else would you respond? I've been busy with some other work. While you have not been busy with any work, right? Yeah. You were lost in the crowd. Oh man, that's hurtful. I was lost in the crowd. And now the final tribe that we all would want to be is the assertive communication style. Assertive communication people are the acers. They do communicate to other people their wants, their feelings and opinions, and they don't do it in a pushy way or aggressive way, or they are not too laid back as passives, and they are not playing any mind games like passive-aggressive communication styles. They are open, they are flexible, they communicate respect to others, firmly advocate for your own rights, and listen. They listen. They spend 45% of their communication actually listening to what the other person is saying, because only when you listen can you communicate respect for others. To communicate respect for others, you need to be open and flexible. You need to be not closed. You need to be open to others' opinions and feelings as well. Right? Now what we will do right now is, with respect to assertive communication style, we will address some of your concerns. These are things that you wrote in your registration forms, that this is what we feel, your everyday challenges or your everyday problems. Okay? Vocab and grammar: I speak too fast, I speak too slow. Fumbling while speaking, expressing my thoughts clearly, I can't talk to strangers, personal interviews, stage fear of public speaking, impromptu communication. Right? Is your concern here somewhere? Under some box? Okay. So we will address this before we try to understand that how do you become internally and externally self-aware. For any communication style, or for you to actually communicate your rights, opinions and feelings, you should be in touch with them. You should know what it is to tell other people. And for that, we have 7 pillars of insight. Okay? There are 7 pillars of insight. First being things, 7, I'll just give you 5. Values. First are, what are your values? What is that thing that you base your life on? I'm an honest person. I value that above anything. I'm environment friendly. This is something that I'll be looking for when I, take up a job in an organization. Or I am somebody who values loyalty. So that's what I'm looking for in relationships. Right? So your value systems, you need to figure that out first. Next is fit. Fit meaning the environment in which you thrive the best. What is it? Where is it that you excel the best? I excel the best when I have a mic in my hand and have people sitting in front of me. I am the most comfortable on a stage. I like front-facing jobs. I like where I have one-on-one communication with people. Some people know they thrive the best when they get the time to brainstorm behind the screen. That's their environment. That's where they thrive. You need to figure out for yourself what is that environment in which you thrive or excel the best. Okay. Let me ask you, what are your value systems? Some things that you really stick by, which is non-compromising for you. Anyone? Anything? Okay. Anything? Okay, so lying is non-negotiable for you. Okay. Else, here, for you. Be ready with one. I'm going to ask all of you. All of you. You have one value system which you know, अगर ये किसी ने मेरे साथ कर दिया, ना.
जब वो कोई धोखा तोड़े.
धोखाधड़ी. Okay. Dhokadhadi, that means anybody who breaks your trusts, right? You establish a bond, and anybody that breaks the trust, that's something that's non-negotiable for you. So trust is your value. Yes. Loyalty. Trust, loyalty. Backstabbing is not a value. It's the anti-value. Something you should not be doing. But I get your sentiment. Yes. Respect. Okay. I go where I'm respected. Okay. So your personal space is, okay. Okay. Understood. Yes. Consistency and effort. Yes. And like she very rightly brought out, consistency, hard work. I strive by to work hard. That is my value system. So I don't care whether people with me, with my batch or with my age, where they are. But I strive to work hard. Okay? So that is a hard work or consistency. I think consistency is a very good value to really hold by. Anyone else? Yes. People being pushy. You guys are giving me anti-values. Respect. Then respect is your value. Okay, give it a name. Okay, backstabbing is the sentiment. You have to label it. Yes. Self-respect is your value. Then self-respect. So I go with self-respect. So okay, so these are some of your values. What environments or what is your fit where you best thrive? Do you know that? Have you ever thought that in this environment, if I'm here doing this thing, or if I'm in this environment, I excel, or I'm in my comfort zone, I know it the best. Anyone? When a lot of people don't know me personally. Okay, nice. You can be incognito. Anyone else? Yes? Okay, in a small group you thrive the best. Even I thrive in a small group. When there are a large group of people, like a circle, big circle, people have in first year 20 friends. I get lost. I don't know what to do, who to talk, what not to talk. I to walk away. I also don't thrive in that kind of environment. Yes. Where we are not judged for our choices. Okay. Anyone else? The reason maybe you're not able to answer it right away is 1, you are shy. 2, you think मैं सबको क्यों बताऊं. 3, you don't know. Third one, you don't know. If मैं सबको क्यों बताऊं is okay. It's fine. We are never going to meet after this. But the third thing is, if you don't know, put some thought into it. That's my only sentiment here or takeaway here. So when you go back, just don't leave it for this 2 hours. Actually go back and ponder on it. Okay? So yeah, we were talking about values, fit. Next thing are your passions. Your passions in life. Passions or passions. How many of you know your passions in life? Nice, nice. Can we have a round of passions flowing? Like just give me. Yes. You love to? Photography is your passion. Making mandalas is your passion. Yes, Shreyansh. Shoes, art, tattoos, novels, passion. Anybody? A lot of you raised your hands. You guys know your passions, yes. Badminton is your passion. Calligraphy is your passion. Painting and reading is your passion. Public speaking is your passion. Reading and writing is your passion. ये लोग भारी पड़ रहे हैं, तुम लोग भी बोलो. हाँ? Traveling is your passion. So you know what your best environment will be when you're wanderlusting. So you don't like to stay in one place. Travelers usually don't. They want to explore. So that is the environment. That is your fit. So if you don't know your fit, that's where the box will be. Yes, more. Writing. Sketching. Anime. Anime is not cartoon. इस पे लोग offend हो जाते हैं ना? हाँ. हाँ? Love to sing. At the back? Working out. Playing sports. Adventures. Biking. Cars, music. A lot of passions. Please put a round of applause for yourself. I am so happy that so many of you actually know your passions. And it's okay if you don't, because it's a journey. You keep figuring it out in the process. So as you go along, do discover your passions and do make a mention of it and do revolve your life around it. It actually gives you immense pleasure. It's more than a paycheck moment, let me tell you. Okay, so that was your values, that was your fit, that was your passions. And the last one is your patterns. Oh, sorry, second last. Your patterns. Patterns are your behavioral patterns, your thoughts, your thinking, your feeling. So you need to be in touch with yourself and know that, hey, These are my hot buttons. These trigger me. Hey, these are things that I tend to overthink about. This is an overthinking zone. So when somebody does this to me, this is the behavior that I give them back. My thoughts, thinking, pattern, behavior. Right? You need to be in touch with that. So when you know your pattern, every person has a pattern. You will do the same thing time and over again. You know it, you don't have to do it, but you will end up doing it. We are just human, right? So when you recognize your patterns, you have a good hold over it. You acknowledge it, and then you are able to step out and move on. That is the 3 steps. You show up, you step out, and you move on. Okay? That is your thoughts, patterns, and behaviors. And last one is impact. Impact being, what impact are you having on other people? Because if you live inside your head, that's a very small world, my friend. You need to also know how you are being perceived on the outside. For that, I make a recommendation, and I've been using it a lot. You have to have your own personal advisory board. PAB. What's a personal advisory board? You have top 5 people in your life who you know when to contact, who you know you have to get in touch with when XYZ problem arises. Relationship problem, call best friend. Finance problem, call papa. दाल नहीं पता चल रही है कौन सी, call. So you have your top 5 people. Jokes apart, you have your top 5 people in your life and you know who to approach when. So when I say, when you go back today and you ask other people what you think my communication style is, ask these people from your personal advisory board. Don't ask any Tom, Dick and Harry. You will be upset after some time. है मैं ऐसा हूँ, ये ऐसा तो नहीं था, ये क्या बोल के चला गया यार ये. तो ऐसा नहीं होता. You just cannot go out and ask anyone. You have to ask people who know you inside out and who want the best for you, who talk in your best interests. So form your personal advisory board and then ask them what impact you have on their lives, on people's lives, in some situations where you thrive best, where you do not work well, etc. Okay? Now, coming to your problem statements. How many of you here have the issue that you speak too fast? Speak too fast. Okay, speak too fast. You might be either speaking too fast because you're another Elon Musk. You're thinking a mile a thought. Have you watched Elon Musk interviews? Here? Do you see how many times he stammers? I think SpaceX, okay. He has so many thoughts in his head and he has to form coherent sentences out of it. It takes time. He's thinking too much. It's taking time for him to form sentences. That could be one reason. 2, you've always spoken fast as a child. बचपन से ही आप तेज बोलते हो, थोड़ा जल्दी बोलते हो. 3rd reason is why I speak too fast. I speak too fast when I'm anxious, or when I'm very excited, or when I'm very pumped. So what my trainers gave me the feedback was, when you start your workshop, your tempo is here. When you begin your workshop, your tempo is here. Because you have used up all your energy in speaking too fast in the beginning of the workshop that nothing is left for the end, my friend. So either when you're anxious you speak too fast because you want to get it done away with. खत्म करो उसको, जल्दी से बोल के निकल जाओ. That is also. So first step is showing up, knowing why are you speaking too fast. Recognize your pattern. Why are you speaking too fast? Then when you want to work on it, what worked for me and what works on a professional basis is, have a template introduction for yourself. 1 minute, 30 seconds introduction. People who speak fast will complete it within 1 minute. Time your introduction or time any passage. Read it, time it, and see whether you complete it in the said given time. And when you practice it, that's when you slow down. People who speak too fast don't use pauses. Their 38% is very missing. That voice modulation range. When you voice modulate, you also take time. You see, like how I'm taking time for each word to be clear enough for you. So you could be doing that also. Next is, how many of you have the problem to speak too slow? Too slow. Okay. People who speak too slow usually use a lot of pauses. unnecessary pauses. Happens? That's what I did right now. I hope you got it. Then it would be a joke in my face. So that will happen. That is what happens when you speak. Now I'm fumbling while speaking, by the way. So that is what happens when you speak too slow. Usually the problem with people who speak too slow is, one, they are not using their voice modulation effectively. What you can do for that is, you have a favorite movie, you can download the movie script in a PDF format or in a docx format and sit in front of the mirror, put on your phone, like facing the video cameras there, and record yourself saying all the dialogues. So be Bunny also, be, who was the other guy in Ye Jawani Hai Diwani? Naina. So be Bunny also, be Naina also, be Kalki Kochlin also, be Aditya Roy Kapoor also, I don't remember the real names. So be all of them and try to voice modulate. That is when you will tend to speak more dramatically. The moment drama enters your voice, you will not be speaking too slow. That aspect of you wavers away. How many of you feel that you do not speak clearly? Words are not clear. Are my words clear to you? Clear, no? Sharp words. You know what I'm saying. People who are not able to speak clearly, let's do this. Put your pens between your teeth. Now, not like that, horizontally. And read this thing. Okay, stop. What this actually does is, it enables the movement of your tongue. People who don't speak clearly do not move their tongue inside their mouth. So that is when musicians have to practice. The first step that they do, when they are they're doing their riyaz or when they have to go on stages, they move their tongue inside their mouth. So if you have a problem that you're not able to speak clearly, you have to enable the movement of your tongue. Get up in the morning and you do this exercise. Before an important thing, do this exercise, it will work for you. Okay? Now, addressing this vocab and grammar, I don't want to tell you what you want to do for vocab and grammar. You know the answer, but you're not doing it. So you know, right, what is one supposed to do to improve their vocab and grammar? What are you supposed to do? Read. But read what? Not Chetan Bhagat. You have to read anything and everything you like. You like cars, read a book or magazine about cars. That is when you will not fall asleep. If you start reading Chetan Bhagat, you will know who murdered in the first chapter. Then there will be a marriage and everybody will live happily ever after. You will not be interested in that story format. So what you have to do is, you have to read and you have to use those words in your everyday life. This is a thing that each one of us knows. You do know, right? English अच्छी करने के लिए English में सोचो. Everybody is told that to us, right? We're just not working on it. So I won't be paying much attention to that. Next, we'll be coming to expressing thoughts clearly and personal interviews. How many of you are able to communicate your thoughts effectively? You're able to put it across nicely. When the other person on the side is like, हाँ समझ में आ गया, बहुत अच्छा समझाया यार, ये बहुत अच्छा समझाता है, इसी से पढ़ते हैं. कुछ लोग होते हैं ना जो पढ़ाते हैं, क्यों? क्योंकि वो बहुत अच्छा समझाते हैं, right? Why? Like, how many of you are able to do it in the first place? Okay. What do you think is the mantra of expressing yourself clearly? Any concept, technical concept also, and anything in general. Like some people tell their story, you get lost. क्या? किसकी नहीं होती? अच्छा वो वहाँ गई. अच्छा तुम वहाँ से वहाँ आए थे. अच्छा वो तुम गई थी. अच्छा वो वहाँ. अच्छा मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, ज़्यादा हो गया. होता है ना, कुछ लोग इतनी एम्बिगुअस स्टोरी बता देते हैं, इतने कैरेक्टर और इतने इवेंट्स और इतनी बैकड्रॉप होता है उसमें, you get lost in the trail of thoughts because they are not able to express their thoughts clearly. And you know where do we have to express our thoughts even more clearly? When we need the bucks, when we need the money. Personal interviews. That's where you need to express your thoughts clearly, right? What works here is There are dozens of things that work, but in the interest of time, I'm telling you just one concept, that is storytelling. Everybody loves stories. What if I had started this workshop with, I'll tell you a story about myself. You're like, ooh, story about her. We don't know her. We'll get some goss, right? Everybody is interested in stories. But how you position your stories in a personal interview? Usually, when you're asked your tech stuff, you give them the answers. That's it. That wraps up. When they ask you, how did you add value to your team? Now, you don't know whether you did add value or not. But in that very second, you are supposed to add value. Anyhow. So what you do is, you make yourself the hero of the story. Then you give them the status quo. Abhi kya tha? So we built this web portal, everything was good. But then Bill started failing. And sanity test bhi nahi ho raha tha. Test coverage was really low. I'm a software engineer, by the way. So sanity testing was low. Bill coverage, test coverage bhi nahi tha. Bills bhi fail ho rahe the. Then I took an initiative to recheck or revise my code as to why some test cases are failing and why some are not. And I went there and I did blah blah blah, did XYZ. And I came out with this solution and it helped the team in this way, victory. So you're the hero. This is the status quo. This is how you worked on that issue or problem. This is how victory looks like. Okay? So usually when you have any issue, when you have to express your idea clearly, when you have to communicate it to your senior that what is the next thing that you want to do, you give them, this is what happened this year, what I think we'll do, and what will be the outcome of it. You give them a story, and you give characters, events, voice issue, there's drama in it, right? That helps the other person actually listen to you. Because they are tuning out all the time. Your 95.3 FM is not working. So you have to engage them and rope them. And this one storytelling technique often works with people. Next is avoiding difficult conversations. Okay, speaking to strangers, initiate a conversation and keep it going. I had a lot of boys, right, talking to girls. What is your communication problem talking to girls? Or a person of opposite gender, right? How many of you face this issue? Talking to strangers. What is the issue that you face? वो तो खा नहीं चाहेंगे. What is the issue that you face? I'm bad at talking to strangers, by the way. We're just asking, like your opinion. What goes wrong? Anything. You don't know what opinion they have about us. You don't know whether this will sound very creepy or not. Why is this person coming and talking to me? You will think like that, right? That's what the other person is thinking. What else do you think happens? You don't know what to talk about. आज मौसम अच्छा है. अच्छा है. Nice, yeah. You don't know what to talk about. You don't have the context. You are fearful of how will you be perceived as, whether it really matters or not, right? The key to speaking to strangers and initiating a conversation and keep it going is asking open-ended progressive questions. Open-ended questions are questions which don't have a yes or no or a binary answer. There is more to it. So moment you ask, आप कहाँ से हैं? लखनऊ. कौन से स्कूल से? सिटी मॉन्टेसरी स्कूल. अच्छा. Which batch? 2019. Okay. Conversation is over. Stranger is standing right next to you, feeling very awkward. Which branch? CS. Okay. You do not ask an open-ended question. Next thing you do is, what people usually say is, icebreakers are the weather. People say that, right? Talk about the weather. It's just so weird. It's always hot here. What do you say? आज बहुत गर्मी है. आज भी गर्मी, कल भी थी. What you usually do when you have to talk to a stranger or you want to initiate a conversation and keep it going is, before you have that conversation, observe. You need to observe the person before you approach them so that you get some context or some idea around it. Right? Let's try having a communication with a stranger. All of you are strangers to me. Anybody would volunteer to be a stranger here? Let's have a conversation. A 2-minute role play. Anyone? Anyone? Come, please come. Thank you so much. Round of applause for her. Okay, so you and I, we are standing in any canteen. You like any canteen? Any canteen is okay, right? PSIT तो नहीं चाहिए, ठीक है. Okay. You are standing in the any canteen. We are in the line. We have both ordered chola samosa. Okay. You are standing. बहुत long हो गया. It's a Wednesday morning, so usually they make it then, and it's really busy. But you want to talk to me, and I also want to talk to you, but we don't know how to begin. What do? I'm just waiting.
Oh, you also ordered chola samosa? I also ordered it.
So what is the first thing that you did? Common. Observe. What if she said, which branch? Chole samosa ki line mein, why do you want to know my branch? Because people don't know what to say. That is why they take up such, or your name. Even after the name, you will ask, what is your name? Khatam. Uske baad there is nothing. So that's why, yeah, I did order chola samosa. It's one of my favorites. They make it very rarely these days, no?
Yeah, I think so. They always make it something else.
What do they make usually?
Like paneer patties, aloo patties.
Oh, that's why I go to the CSIT canteen more. Which branch are you in, by the way? Okay. So this is a very small role play, which is not a template for anything. But what I want, thank you so much. Round of applause for her. What I want to signal you here is, first look for a common interest, talking point, observe them, then you frame a question and then you ask them. And disclaimer, there will always be awkward silences and pauses with a stranger. You have awkward silences with a best friend also, right? So it's bound to happen with a stranger. So that will happen, but don't trip over it or don't get worked up on it. You will have to ask more questions, open-ended ones. Usually people ask a lot of whys. So when you ask a lot of whys, you do come to drill down to the, the core problem, or you come down to a common interest or talking point. That usually happens. So that is what we will learn about. We learned about initiating a conversation and keep it going. Next is stage fear of public speaking. How many of you have this fear? Do you think I have this fear? Big time. Everybody has this fear. There's a research which I'm not able to cite correctly, but it says that the fear of public speaking is more than the fear people have of mathematics. Matlab they'll study maths, but they won't. Like, it's the same kind of fear. Like double integral करने वाला fear है वो. पता नहीं क्या होगा. Infinite तो नहीं चला जाएगा ये. So that is the fear that we are talking about. With respect to public speaking, how many of you know about Toastmasters? Toastmasters. Okay, so it's a pro-oratory club worldwide, which you can join. There's one in Ghaziabad as well. They usually host sessions at Indrapuram. And whichever city you are in, they usually have a club. They have a format there. It's called Table Topic Speech, TTT. What happens in a table topic speech is, you get a topic on the spot, impromptu communication. You have to talk about it for 1 minute. And in the audience, people calculate your filler words. People usually have that, right? Next, they point out your grammatical mistakes. They point out good word usage, and they time you. That within 1 minute, you were able to convey this in this thought. You can be your own Toastmaster, is what I'm going to tell you. But you will have to do that in front of a mirror, record yourself or tape yourself, where you will have to give yourself an impromptu topic. You can fetch it from the internet. There are various apps where you just spin a wheel and it will give you a topic to talk about. Explore the Play Store for good reasons, okay? And the App Store. So when you get a topic, time yourself for a minute, okay, for a minute. And the key to impromptu communication here is, take 2 minutes or 1 minute to first think about it, form the flow, and go with storytelling always. Give a the hero, give the status quo, give the solution, give a emerging victory answer. Usually works when you don't have anything to say, you can stick with that pattern. You take those 2 minutes, you tape yourself and you count your filler words afterwards. You know that you've committed a grammar mistake after you have committed it, right? We all of us know. Sometimes we don't. If you don't, then you can take somebody else's supervision from your PAB, your personal advisory board, or somebody else who has a better hold of grammar than you, right? And then you have to point out good word usage. This will help you with public speaking because it is nothing more than that. It is about presenting your thoughts impromptu, effectively, with minimum errors. There will always be errors. I have fumbled like a dozen times here. If you count my R words or filler words, as we call it, you'll put me to shame. Everybody, it's natural, it's human. But to minimize it, that is public speaking. So go up, do the homework of Toastmasters, get yourself table topics and practice it. That will happen, that will make you your own, TED speaker. How many of you watch TED Talks, by the way? You really like them? And the ones that I had here were nervousness or coming across as rude even when I'm not. So these ones are the ones that we address when you know your values, your fit, your passions, your impact, and your patterns. That's when you are internally self-aware. You will not come across as rude because you will know that as an assertive communicator, you will have to communicate your rights, opinions, and feelings effectively. One small tip is, as an assertive communicator, when you have difficult conversations to handle, the template should be, when you switch on the light at 5 a.m., I feel irritated. I would like you to use a lamp. You switch on light at 5 a.m. and it makes me groggy in the morning. That isn't aggressive. Can you switch your light off at 5? No? Okay, fine. So you switched on the light again, at 5. Studying? Nice. Passive aggressive. Assertive is, when you switch on the light at 5 a.m. in the morning for studying, I feel irritated. I would like you to use a lamp instead. I have my 55%, that is my non-verbal behavior. My 30%, if I say the very thing very loudly, it will come across as aggressive. And I have my 7%, right usage of words. The template simply is, when you have a fight with your partner, it is when you do this, I feel this, I would like you to do this. Okay? Now what we're going to do is, we're going to play a game. We're going to split you guys into groups of 3. How will we do that? Is my question. Is there any way that we can split you in 3? What's the head count? We don't have the head count, right? Okay, let's do a thing. You first 3 rows form a group. First 3 rows form a group. And you 2 rows, this row and this incomplete row, you form one team. Okay? Done? So you 3 rows are a team. You 3 rows are a team. And you 2 and this bunch. You guys are a team. Understood? Okay. So team 1. We have to do a role play here. I'm giving you 3 themes. 10 minutes to discuss, 5 minutes to perform. Okay? What is the role play? Something that I did similarly with her. I'll be someone, you'll be someone, I'll give you a situation, you have to act accordingly. Okay, so you guys are organizing a hackathon in AKGEC, okay? And good luck doing that, by the way. You're organizing a hackathon in AKGEC, and what you have to do is, you have mostly passive people on your team, and you are assertive communicators. So when I mean you are assertive communicators, you have passive people on your team, you can choose to have 1 assertive, 1 passive, 2 assertive, 3 passive. That's your call. That's your creative, bring out the creative director in you, okay? So you know that that passive person has multiple ideas and they are pretty good, and if they were spoken about in the team, it would really yield good results. But that person being passive does not really put it forth. So as an assertive communicator, you have to communicate with a passive, because you might become a passive person, you might become an assertive communicator, but the world is not assertive. So you need to know how to talk with passives, how to talk to aggressives, how to talk to passive aggressives. Clear? Can you huddle up and do this? Your time starts now. So it's clear, right, what you have to do? So what helps is turn around, turn around, turn around. You guys are there already. Just huddle and discuss, okay? 10 minutes. These three rows, your thing is that your problem statement is that you have recently joined a new society, okay? And you have been chilling out with the seniors and juniors more. Earlier, you used to do it with your best friend or who's also your roommate. So your break hours were spent usually with them. Now it's not. But they have been acting weird about it because they are passive aggressive. They are not confronting you about it, about your new behaviors and your new things in life, but they are acting weird about it. And you are an assertive communicator. And you have to confront the passive aggressive friend or roommate to communicate it to you clearly that, hey, what's the deal? What's the catch here? Okay? Understood? So it's you three rows, right? We will have just one here. You choose your heroine or hero, and you do the role play. Okay? You have 10 minutes. Can we, so these two rows, can we have you guys here? Please shift here. Thank you so much. Can you shift here? Okay. So your problem statement is that you have reached the hiring manager round for Amazon. Okay. One of you here has reached the hiring manager round for Amazon. And what has happened is the interviewer who is interviewing you is an aggressive communicator. Before you are telling your answer, she is interrupting you. She is bullying you. She is not listening to you. And she is passing condescending remarks. ये नहीं आता आपके कॉलेज में ये नहीं होता ये वाला algo नहीं पढ़ा है. So that is what that interviewer is doing to you. But you need the job, right? You want the job. So how will you be an assertive candidate to an aggressive interviewer? And that happens. Interviewers are not cups of cake. They're not. Okay? Understood? Understood? Everyone at length here. I know you're too big a team. You can all what you can guys can do. You can go there also if you wish and like. Nothing, like whatever manner you want to discuss in. Is the problem statement clear? Okay. Thank you. So one of you will be interviewer, one of you will be interviewee. Interviewer will be all aggressive. Interviewee will be assertive. Okay? Yeah. Please take the liberty of standing up, moving around, do anything which you like. You can. By the way, you can use these points here. So people who are communicating with passives, these are the points how you can talk to a passive person. With aggressive, the aggressive interviewer, and the passive aggressive roommate. Hey, this side, you guys need to get up and move there. You would want to discuss, right? Why miss the chance of doing this? You three guys can also include yourself in the discussion. By this time, you should have decided who are the actors at least. Theme you decide and the actors you decide. just, I think, 15 minutes more. 15 minutes, no? Okay, back to your places. Now, whatever has been done has been done. I gave you way too much time because I got occupied. Back to your seats, back to your seats, back to your seats. The aggressive batch is behaving aggressively by dominating, interrupting me, and not respecting my opinions and feelings. Please take your seats. Thank you so much. This will be the first set that will come here and perform. So give it up for an aggressive communicator and an assertive interviewee. Round of applause. Yes. On stage. We'll be needing 2 mics. We have 2, right? One is in my hand. Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Thank you. Okay, you can have this.
Hello, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, ma'am. This is Aradhya Priyadarshi. I'm from Varanasi. My hometown is Varanasi, and I'm pursuing currently a BTech degree from Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad.
Aradhya, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce your name? Aradhya, or is it Aradhya?
It's Aradhya.
Aradhya, I'm sorry. So, can you tell me more about your schooling?
Sure, ma'am. I've done schooling from Varanasi only. My school name was Little Flower House. It was one of the oldest school in my city, founded in 1948. It was a very, very sophisticated kind of school where all people of all religion and all caste race can take admission.
That's, I'm sorry to interrupt you, that's what the school is basically. Anyway, you are here for an interview for what job? Like, what is the post you are actually interviewing for? Do you have an idea?
The post of software developer in your firm.
Okay. So, why do you think you're apt for the job?
Ma'am, I think I'm suitable for this kind of post in your firm because I think the qualities which you inquire for hiring me as a software developer in your firm is best suits for me.
It's okay, you can be comfortable. It's okay. I'm not going to eat you. Continue.
Ma'am, the skills which you require for your firm, are having the best knowledge of me in myself. I am having the skills of C, C++, Java, Python, Dart, Django, and all MongoDB kind of technical knowledge is in myself. That's why I consider myself to be one of the best candidates for your firm.
Okay, and what soft skills you have? You have imbibed in you.
Ma'am, this.
Thank you so much. Thank you both of you. Please have a round of applause for them. You can go back to your seats. Thank you so much. Thank you. So what usually aggressive communicators do is they interrupt frequently and they pass condescending remarks, or they use a lot of verbal actions. Their pitch is higher than it should be, and else they are poor listeners like I talked about. So whenever you are role playing, try to bring out the non-verbal plus the verbal elements in the role play. Okay? So that is when we'll be able to infer that, okay, she's being aggressive, he's being assertive. Okay. Can you have you guys next? So they have a passive aggressive roommate. Do you guys know the situation? Everybody knows their theme? Yes or no? Okay. Up. Quickly, quickly, quickly.
So I got to know that you went for movie and left me behind.
You are ready for a movie. तुम कभी ready कहाँ होती हो?
But this time I took time out for you guys.
But last time पे फिर तुम्हारी हमेशा की तरह meeting.
Meetings ऐसे आ जाती हैं, मतलब मेरा intention नहीं रहता है कि plans cancel करूं. It just happens.
It's always yours intention.
I try my best that I give time to you guys. It's just that I was too occupied. I had too many work. So
हमें काम नहीं है?
है, of course है, बस timing थोड़ी different हो जाती है.
Timing? Yeah, of course. हम हमेशा तुम्हारी timing पे काम करें.
मैंने ये नहीं कहा. I just said कि I was free at that time. You could have asked.
कितनी बार पूछ लिया? हमेशा नहीं होता.
एक बार और सही.
हमेशा हम ही.
So okay, next time. So next time, if I make a plan, will you guys be ready? Of course not. Like you denied.
We are always ready for our friends. Always.
I was ready for this plan as well.
We didn't know.
You did. I told you.
We didn't know it. हमेशा की तरह meeting ही आ जानी थी ना last में.
You acted really strange. You just pre-assumed that I'll have a meeting.
तुम seniors के साथ busy थी.
I was working. I was not chilling.
Intellectual things you want to know, right?
Intellectual, if you don't mind.
Yeah, हमेशा हम ही तो गलत होते हैं. हमेशा हम ही गलत होते हैं.
हमेशा नहीं, कभी-कभी, and I want that if I correct you, you accept that. और आगे से कोई third person तुम्हें ना टोके, तुम्हें public में कोई ऐसे बुरा feel ना कराए. इसलिए I corrected you right now. Because I consider you my friend.
Why would you correct me? You will go with your seniors, you will go for your meetings and everything. Do you have time for your friends? I don't think so.
I think I have time for you guys and I consider you my friend. That's why I want you to understand.
We cannot.
Try. Listen, I'm trying my best.
Okay,
do it. I'm really trying my best to give time to you guys. So, but I
can't see it.
I literally can't see the effort on your side. You are not trying to understand.
Always.
Well, I'm sorry if you're hurt.
Very good, guys. I think both were passive aggressive on some fronts. This was hilarious. This was like living in girls' hostel all over again. amazing, guys. But what you could have instead done is, when I gave you that format, so when you left for the movie without me, I felt left out. I would like you to please ask me next time or check whether I'm available or not, and I would definitely let you know. I'm sorry for cancelling plans at the last moment. Even after this, if a person behaves passive-aggressively, which they will, you will have to give it some time to marinate, to get that to her head, okay? But that's the format that you can use. But kudos, girls. We had a lot of fun. Yes. And now the passives and the assertives who are organizing a hackathon at AKGEC. Thank you.
Okay, so you are certainly aware that we are like in college we are organizing a hackathon, right? And I'm looking for the team members as well. So I would like to know your introduction. I would like to know what you know, what are your skills. Just introduce yourself.
I am good at coding, so I have done a lot of things. Like I have done MongoDB, SQL, and I have learned Python and Java, and that's all.
Okay, great. That sounds nice. And would you be able to put your 100% to the work like we would be giving? Like it would be really hectic. Like you have to manage your studies as well, and you have to put your 100% to this. If we are participating in this hackathon, and like we are the organizing team. So will you be able to do it?
Really, I'll have to do all that and manage all that thing.
Will you?
I'll try my best.
Yeah, that's great. So, there would be certain decisions would be taken. Like we are a team, and there would be certain decisions. So I want your active participation in that, and please do not shy in just sharing your views as well. So. I know, I think, like I just talked to you, I felt like you are shy a bit. So please be comfortable with me. Share your doubts, share your thoughts clearly, so that like we would be comfortable. We are the team. We have to work accordingly, no? So you know better. So I would like to summarize, like you can work with us, right?
Yes, I'll try my best. I can assure you with that.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. The passive did a really good job at being passive. I'll try. I'll try. Yeah. I know my MongoDB. I'll try. Okay. So that brings me and us to the end of this workshop. Thank you so much for gracing your time. Just 2 minutes. I would just need 2 minutes of your time. 2 minutes of your time to fill up this form here. You will have to take out your phones and feedback me. Moreover, thank you so much for being such a great audience and for effectively participating in the activities and enjoy. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new today, and I hope you go back and reflect on what we talked about and discussed today, right? Please do me the favor of, hitting up this link, which will redirect you to a Google form, and that's where you have to fill it up. I have given the name category as optional because if you want to give a critical feedback and you don't want me knowing that you gave it, so you can choose to omit your name. Otherwise, please feel free to keep your names open. I'm open to criticisms, feedbacks, recommendations on the workshop and as a trainer itself. The link does open up, right? Give me a thumbs up if yes. Okay, thanks. It's just a radio, but I mean MCQ thing. You can do it away really quickly. And before we leave, we'll also have a picture, if you guys don't mind, showing your faces to the camera. Are we done with the feedbacks? Are you guys writing big paragraphs, something or what? Moreover, thank you so much, Team Horizon, for making this happen for me. And it was supposed to be an online thing initially. Thank you so much, Kangshi, for taking the effort, time of materializing this. Thank you so much, team. I know what effort goes behind putting a workshop, even everything. Huge thanks from me to you. Thank you so much. This clap is for me or Team Horizon? Thank you. Okay, can we have a picture now? If you guys are done with your feedbacks? Okay. We have a good bunch of DOPs around. I forgot to make a thank you slide. इसके बाद thank you आना चाहिए. Where should we have the picture? Where do you guys recommend? Here? Here? Okay. The lighting is better there.
Everyone can stand up and be closer to each other so that you can come in the frame. Do not hurry, do not hurry. And sit at those places. Yes. You just have to come closer but sit down so that everyone is visible.
please occupy the front seats too. Those who are standing at the back, please come in the front. आगे बैठ.